Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I'm Durka, and today we are in the Yamato on everyone's favorite map, Fault Line. It's been a couple weeks since I've uploaded anything, and for that I am sorry, but I've had to deal with some finals, and since they are wrapping up, I will try to get back to a regular schedule. So in this particular game, I'm going to highlight some things for carrier players that will hopefully help them out, help them to be better team players. And for all the rest of us battleship, cruiser, and destroyer players, it points out just how important teamwork is. For the most part, I will be the center of attention for the enemy carrier this game. And I will say, a Yamato is a juicy target. Just like real life, this thing is hard to miss with bombs and torpedoes, and you can rack up some juicy damage. But damage doesn't win games. So at the beginning of this game, we have an Akazuki with us going to sea, and we're going to follow him and try to support him as much as possible. We also have a Siegfried with us, and one thing to note about both of these ships is that even bone stock with no AA perks, modules, or consumables, both of these ships have great AA numbers. The Yamato's is okay as well. The three ships together in close proximity will pose a huge problem for enemy planes. So looking across the map, we have a friendly Fletcher in A, and the enemy has a Le Fantasque in B, working on getting the caps. Initially, both carriers in the game do the smart thing, and that is to move into the caps, find the destroyers, and spot them for their teams. By doing so, hopefully you can quickly eliminate the destroyers, or damage them so much that they will be limited later in the game, or just push them out of the cap to not let them get the points. The enemy carrier takes a pot shot at our Fletcher, but then promptly turns north to attack two blue battleships. While his teammates are pushing around the corner down there by A, they more than likely do not have a good shot at our Fletcher, but keeping him spotted and tagging him and pinging him would help his teammates move up confidently on A. Our carrier has kept their luff and task and B spotted nearly this entire time, allowing the Edinburgh to keep shooting him with that wonderful short-fused British AP. This has kept him reset and pushed him back out of the middle of the map so he can't spot. And I'm sure that at this point in the game, he's lost a significant amount of health. In the meantime, the enemy Lexington has found me as a target. A slow, lumbering, easy to hit target with a big HP pool to take from. I had no prayer in dodging the first torpedoes and was immediately greeted with floods. He did a good job aiming and hitting in front of the torpedo belt. But if you notice how quickly he lost his squadron because of the Akazuki and the Siegfried with me. However, losing this squadron did not deter the Lexington, and he's immediately coming back with some more bombers. And I see them, there's not a lot that I could do, and really I perceive the Jean Bart as a bigger threat. If I show the cheeks of the Yamato, we've all seen the clips and know what can happen. Even if they are 15-inch shells, it's pretty easy to pin the cheeks of this ship. So I just sit here and watch the torpedo planes fly by, knowing they're going to turn around and come target me from this side. Since the Jean Bart backed up a little bit, I'm hoping to kind of move and maybe make him miss one of the torpedoes. But again, this thing is gargantuan, and he again does a pretty good job aiming at the front to get a flood. And I don't think it's a bad play at all. If he can get me out of the fight at this point, the JB and Azuma should be able to hold off the Siegfried and Akazuki. His team over at A shouldn't have a problem at all moving up and winning there, and then we would have the typical fault line result where both teams meet in the middle and brawl it out over B. But I'm just thinking that he might have better luck against a softer target, one that doesn't have teammates so close that can support with AA fire. At this point in the game, we have around 10 enemy planes shot down, and I'd be curious to see what the Siegfried and Akazuki have as well. So as the enemy Azuma goes down, and the enemy JB isn't far behind, I can't help but feel a little bad. Because I too have spawned across from a legendary battleship like the Yamato or the GK in a tier 7, and it's really annoying. Part of me still wishes that legendary tier could maybe be alone, but I suppose that's not in the cards, and that would make matchmaking way more difficult. But anyways, as I pummel these guys with 18.1-inch guns and a 25-second reload, I guess I'll not complain, because it happens to all of us, and you can be on both sides of it. Plus, I hear for every JB that's killed while reversing, an angel gets their wings. And it's likely in the very next game, I loaded in a battleship and had 2 Shimikazes and a Yudachi on the enemy team. Because RNG giveth and RNG taketh away. So the enemy Lexington has taken a brief pause from attacking us to pick on our friendly Edinburgh, who is kind of alone at this point. The Edinburgh doesn't have the best AA protection either. C-Cap and this side of the map are firmly in Blue's control, and A-side and the west are without a doubt Red territory. This is fault line. In a battleship at this point, I want to move away from friendly battleships to work on catching the enemy in a crossfire, and to force the enemy to armor angle either towards me or the Vlad to the north. Sailing into the middle here is usually always a mistake. Watching this replay back at this point, it could still really be anyone's game. I would say that we have a pretty big advantage with our destroyer, but they have a carrier that could easily negate that with good spotting. We have the points lead and a slight ship lead. Our friendly carrier player has done an amazing job this game, eliminating the enemy destroyer threat. As you can see, B-Cap is still not captured by anyone, and continuing to hound enemy ships that are separate from the group, as well as keeping them all spotted, showing me and my teammates the best positioning to go to finish this game off. The situational awareness that carriers provide can really change the entire balance of the game. As you're flying your squadrons around, you might not be thinking of it, but your teammates, the ones that have discovered the minimap, are paying attention. By knowing every enemy ship location, even stealthy cruisers, it can help set up ambushes, angles, and the use of crossfires. As we bring the Yamato around the south to catch their battleship's broadsides, we get a glimpse of the Lexington that has caused me so much grief this game, and now revenge is on the brain. I would never recommend chasing carriers, but hey, if you happen across one, you might as well kill it. So we lay eyes on the enemy Yamato, while we have a whopping 49,000 damage. Believe it or not, we actually end this game with 162,000, so things are about to get a little more interesting. Our friendly Akazuki from C-Cap is now taking B, pretty much solidifying our win here if he gets it. And this is where the enemy Lexington needs to come alive. He has several allies that would have a good line of sight on B if only he would keep the destroyer spotted. He does send this torpedo squadron in there, but it's a little bit too late. The cap has already been capped. Can't quite see what he does here, but it looks like he goes ahead and takes a torpedo run on our Akazuki, and then promptly is going to turn, fly over the mountain, and hit me in the broadside. It doesn't matter how big the island is next to you, it cannot protect you from torpedo bombers. They can initiate their attack on the other side and come right in. But we do turn in the hope that maybe the torpedoes won't arm, and we turn in just enough that the front one doesn't arm. This Yamato here, he's been targeting the Siegfried behind me, and it's just been allowing me to absolutely pummel him, because there's nothing that really can protect you from these 18-inch guns. So this is some Yamato on Yamato crime. The Iowa takes a little pot shot at us, but we get lucky staying close to the island, and it's time to finish our Yamato friend off, and I'm still looking for that Lexington. I would be very curious at this point in the game to know just how many fighters the Lexington has left, because I haven't really seen many coming out here. Something tells me that he's having to wait for them to respawn before he can send any more out. Or he's just given up, I'm not sure. But I'm just waiting for the opportunity. If our carrier torpedo bombers can move just a little bit farther west, I think we'll spot this guy. And again, watching the replays, hindsight's always 20/20, because the Lexington pops up here on the map, and it probably takes me well, let's just say way too long to realize it. I don't know what I was doing at this point, but when I finally notice him, we line up some good shots and continue to work on exacting our revenge. Props to blue team in this one, and red team as well. I don't mean to dog on this carrier player at all, but I think there's a lot that can be learned from watching this gameplay back. We did have 2 destroyers at the start, and arguably the better spawn, so maybe we were destined to win anyways. But as a carrier player, I would hunt enemy destroyers as much as possible, realize battleships have huge HP pools, heals, and access to will to rebuild, and avoid large clumps of enemy ships as they will wreck your precious airplanes. Along with that, it's important to know which ships have good AA, as Akazuki is one of the best AA destroyers in the game, and Siegfried is no slouch as a cruiser. So as this game comes to an end, we will spot our friend, the Lexington, one more time, and we will let auto-aim do the rest. That is going to wrap this game up. Questions, comments, leave them down below. If you would, please hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on for more videos like this one. Thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next one.